Hello and welcome to another episode of Wannabe Entrepreneur. Today, I apologize if the sound is not the best. I am not at home, I'm not using my microphone, I'm using my phone microphone because I am visiting one of my favorite cities in the world, which is Amsterdam. It's a beautiful, vibrant city with so many cool things happening, and it's a melting pot of cultures and people. And there's a lot of water, and I love water, so it's really great. And I've been here for the weekend until Wednesday, and Saturday started with an amazing adventure. I have been following a YouTuber, a sailing YouTuber, for a while now, and he did a daily show, an amazing show about sailing and racing. And I knew that I was already coming to Amsterdam to visit, and he was doing one of his premieres on YouTube, and there was not a lot of people seeing the premiere, so there were like about 20 people in the chat, and I started chatting with him, and I told him I'm actually going to Amsterdam, and he said, alright, then I will, if you want to come, and if you want to sail with us, you can come on Saturday and sail with us. And that was really nice. And basically I went there, I met him. I haven't met him before, in person at least, and it was really cool. We had like a full day of sailing. I hang out with a couple of other sea wolves, as they are called, and it was a great opportunity. And again, I just want to stress out what I already mentioned in the previous episode, that sometimes just reach out to people. There's nothing bad that can happen, and you can actually have a great adventure and network. So I will also be interviewing him. His name is Florian in the future. So that's great. Besides that, another great thing happened. We did our changeit release with a new design. I've been working with it, as you know, with João Amaro. And yeah, I'm feeling super proud of what we achieved. It looks more professional, more serious, easier to understand. We also rebranded the Echo Store a bit with new categories and a new design. And I think that this will really help increase the number of clicks. And I don't want to say anything, but I'm already seeing a couple of course, it's too early still to say, but fuck it, I will just spoil it and say that I'm seeing already a couple of more clicks than previously. So let's see how this ends up. I will do a release review in maybe 1 or 2 weeks so that we can actually see how the numbers changed. But yeah, it's a cool experiment, and I'm super excited about that. And now if we go to this podcast and talk about this podcast, the reviews and the feedback I'm getting is still super amazing. I am really overwhelmed with how many people like this, and the fact that I currently have 30-40 listens every day, every time I release a new episode, which is amazing. Also, Datadog shared the interview I did with Bushra in their LinkedIn, which was amazing. I already got us a lot of new users or listeners rather. And yeah, still I have to say that I'm a bit disappointed, because with all this positive feedback, it feels that I'm ticking all the right boxes. But I would expect to have more listeners for some reason, to have a more steep growing curve, and unfortunately that's not happening. I don't know why. And also my business model, as you know, with this podcast is membership. I also have some content that is only for supporters or members, and I don't know, I always felt that people that are listening to this podcast, they would be more interested in actually seeing, because I share the graphs and I share some interesting complementary content in that platform. But yeah, so far only one person is actually a member, which I really appreciate. But I thought that more people would join. So I'm trying to figure out why that's happening. And it's always, a roller coaster. I don't know if I will be able to make enough money. And now here in Amsterdam, spending a lot because everything is so expensive. And before, when I was employed, I didn't think about it. I would just, go for dinner, eat and drink, and everything would be fine. But now I actually see myself looking at the numbers, seeing how much money you are spending, and yeah, it definitely gets me anxious. The fact that I don't know if I will make money. And yesterday I was sharing this with a friend, and he told me that it's hard. He's also an entrepreneur, and he said, yeah, it's hard. It's there's a lot of companies that, even though we think that they are making a lot of money because they have a lot of views or listeners or sales, they are not, because they're investing a lot also in advertisement, and it's really hard to make a viable business. And sometimes it makes me really nervous because I just don't know what else can I do. There's a lot of things that I can do, but also each thing requires a lot of effort, and it's very, very tough in that regard. I had an idea that I'm following now for this podcast, which is sponsored episodes. So my idea would be to go to companies like, let's say, Datadog, Trivago, general tech companies, and do an episode with them where we would speak about some cool projects that they implemented, some entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship inside the company, and then in the end also kind of speak about the company and if it's the working life balance and the life at that company, and maybe find some people that could be interested in working there, and they would pay me and sponsor that episode. I think it could be a great way to make some quick money, and I think also the content would be really interesting. So I reached out to a couple of companies to see if they would be interested, and I will keep you posted regarding that. Besides this, I would love to start creating more community and speaking with you, the listeners. So please, if you are interested in that, follow me on TiagoRBF on Twitter, and let me know if you have any questions, any things that I should talk about, or just come and say hi. I would love to chat with you. Send me a DM on Twitter and we can chat. Maybe we can even speak about your project in this podcast. That would be amazing. All right, this was another Wannabe Entrepreneur. See you tomorrow.